All right, good morning, you guys. Get this music turned off here. The faces. Okay. We're going to go ahead and we're going to jump right into this. So I think we've got a pretty good following on Zoom, and I know I've got several over on Facebook. So let's just kind of talk about how this is going to go. So if you've been tuning into these Zooms, you guys know how we do this. So you are going to all be muted during the duration of this class. Let me make sure everybody is muted and that you can't unmute yourselves. So we don't want any hiccups during class. Okay. So you are going to be muted during the duration of this class. If you do have questions, if you're on Zoom, you're going to put those into the chat box. If you're on Facebook, you're going to put those into the comment section. This is going to be a lot, and I'm going to try to be as, I'm going to dummy this down. I'm not going to be talking over anybody's heads. We're going to go very slow and thorough. So hopefully that will help with the confusion, and then hopefully I answer your question. And we won't have any questions at the end. So we may go over an hour. So if you do have to pop off, if you have prior appointments, this is being recorded. So that means you'll be able to watch the playback on Facebook, and then you'll also be able to watch this back on our YouTube channel. Okay, let's talk about one more thing. So you're probably confused because we have been training you guys on DocuSign. Now we have no hard dates on this. We just keep telling you it's coming soon, it's coming soon. That's all I have for you for right now. However, we really want to get you guys into command compliance, okay? The great thing about Gary Keller is that he gives you the power of choice. So either you use DocuSign or you use Dotloop as your e-signature platform, but you're going to be using command compliance for the compliance piece of it. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to be talking about how do I continue to use Dotloop and then go into the compliance piece of it inside command. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I hope that clears up maybe if you're confused about Dotloop versus DocuSign. We have no hard dates, but we do want you to get, we want to get you guys inside command compliance. So whether you're using DocuSign or Dotloop, the end goal, it doesn't matter which one you use, you've got the power of choice. We want you inside command compliance. So let's go over some of the settings pieces of this. So Dotloop is not going to be in just where your applications are at. So I'm going to click on my drop down next to my name, and I'm going to go into the settings. Now mine's going to be different, and some of you may be different. So if you did this way back when, you probably already have Dotloop in your integration. So right now I clicked on my drop down, I clicked on settings, and this is the page I end up on. Now, Dotloop for me is already in here because I pulled it in. And some of you probably already pulled it in, and some of you maybe already have it connected. I'm going to show you how we connect it here in a second. But if you are somebody that Dotloop is not in your list of applets integrations, this is where you're going to go to pull that. So I'm going to go into the KW Marketplace, and that's this little icon up here, and that's called the Marketplace. I'm going to click on that. Super easy to do this, you guys. The KW Marketplace is going to pop up. You're also going to get a glimpse of what are the other applets that will connect with command. But today we're going to focus on, I need to get Dotloop into my settings. So I can just come over here to the categories, and in categories, Dotloop is going to be under transaction management. I'm going to click that, and then there is Dotloop. Okay. Now I'm going to click on it. Now again, mine's going to look different because I've already added it. So now mine says manage app. If you did not already have it in your command settings, it's going to say activate or start. I think it says activate if I'm remembering correctly. You're just going to click that button. It's going to move it to command for you into the settings. So all you would need to do is click that activate, come back to your settings, and just do a refresh on your page. It's going to populate that into the applets for the integrations. We'll let this load for us. We can get that off there. Let that load. Now, it's not command that's being slow today, you guys. I've noticed that Zoom has been bogging down whenever I am, whenever we are live and whenever I'm streaming to Facebook. So I apologize, but this is not command that's actually being slow today. It's the Zoom portion of it. Hopefully this will, let me try to go in a different way real quick. Still loading. All right, let me just try to open a new tab. Bear with me. Don't go anywhere. Yeah, got logged out. Okay, we're back here. Okay, nope, let's try again. All right, we're gonna go incognito. So this is a great training exercise, you guys. If for some reason you can't get inside command, we're getting the spinning wheel of death. I'm gonna show you how you can go in a back way, so that way you can continue what you were doing. So if you're in Google Chrome, up here at the top right, you have 3 little dots. Oh, nope, looks like we're in. Okay, well, we'll get to that if we have to go there, but it looks like we're in now. So I'm gonna come back into my settings. So we've got the arrow next to the drop down, my name, and I'm gonna click on settings. We're going into the integrations, which is your applications, it's your apps. And now when I scroll down to digital signature and transactions, there is Dotloop, okay? Our next step is that we need to connect Dotloop to command. So what we're doing right now is we're giving Dotloop access to command so that they can talk to one another. So this is huge, and just like we talked about in DocuSign, we do this so that way you are, it's easy for you guys to connect your e-signature platforms to your opportunities, so that way you're able to easily pull in those documents. It's seamless, you guys. If you don't do this and you're downloading to your computer and just uploading into an opportunity, that's extra steps, and we already have enough steps as it is, so let's not cause us any more hassle. So let's go ahead and connect that account. Super easy. We're going to click connect account. It's going to give you this pop-up box, and it's going to have us log into our Dotloop account. Out of the way. It's loading. Let that load. Okay, let's get out of it. Let me try again. Okay, so there is our Dotloop login page. Now you're just logging in so that way it knows which account you need to log into. If you are already logged in, sometimes I've seen this automatically connect you to a person. So if you're on a team, make sure that you're connecting it to the right account. Make sure you're connecting it to the Rainmaker if that's the account you need to be connected to. So most of you though should get this login page. If you don't, just make sure it's connecting to the right account. So we're gonna do my login so we can connect it. Sign in. All right. Get that off there. It's asking, okay, we are authorizing KW Command to access all profiles within your Dotloop account. So do you want to do this? Yes, I do. And I'm going to approve it. Okay, so nothing's happened. Oh, there it goes. Okay, if for some reason that didn't do an update, all I would do is just do the refresh page, and then you would see that it's now connected. So now I can see that Dotloop has a status of connected, and this is the account it's connected to. So this is all the prep work you need to make sure is complete before you start trying to do Dotloop with your command compliance. This needs to be completed before, so that way you're not trying to backtrack. So let's go back to our homepage of command. We're going to do 2 different examples today, you guys, so that way you get 2 different perspectives. The first one I'm going to do is a listing. That's going to be our first example. So from start to finish, what does that look like? I'm not going to be filling out paperwork, but you guys know how to do that piece of it. But I'm going to show you how do I need to start it, what's it going to look like in between. The second example you're going to get is the contract side of it. So whether you have the listing or don't have the listing, what does the contract side of it look like? What does, that side, what happens on that side of it? So let's go ahead and get started. Again, before you can even create an opportunity. So when you think of opportunity, that's a transaction. Sometimes transactions aren't actually active. Maybe that's a lead, maybe that's an appointment, but for today's training purposes, we're thinking active. So we're going to be putting in a listing. That seller needs to already be in your contacts. So that would be step number 1. Add your person to your contacts. Okay, super easy. I would hope that you already have your database in here, and they should already be in here, so you wouldn't need to, but if they're not, this is where you would add them. So if I just hover, that's going to tell me which applet I'm in. You would add your contact into your contacts. Hopefully it's already in here. If it's not, you can click the add contact button, and then you can add their contact. So as much information as possible, first name, last name, email address, whatever you want to add to that contact. But we always want a complete contact, so add as much as you can. All right, so for today, my seller is going to be Cody Hammer, so I'm not going to add a contact right now. So we've added our contact. Now we can go into opportunities. So if I hover, it's the shaking hands. You guys, I have not went to Dotloop yet, okay? I didn't go to Dotloop to start the loop. I came to command first. I created my contact. Now I'm inside opportunities. Command is going to create that loop for you because you allowed command to talk to Dotloop, so now they're communicating with one another. Okay, it's going to take that step out for you. All right, here's our sales pipeline. We're going to just focus on the listing side of it. This is a listing opportunity. So I'm going to click create opportunity. All right, here's our opportunity card. Let's go through this real quick. If you want a more in-depth on the sales pipeline and opportunities, there is a recorded training on that on our YouTube channel. So we're going to breeze through this real quick. So Market Center is our office. If you're on a team, that will populate there. If you're not on a team, don't worry about it. Opportunity type. If I give the drop down, these are my options. We're going to, again, go with listing. This is an example for a listing. The owner, that is you of the account, not the seller, not the client, but here is the client box. So that's why it's important. You want to make sure put that contact in there first, because if I start typing in a name that's not in my database, it's not going to pop up. But for today, we're going to use Cody Hammer as our client. If there is a co-seller, you can put them in there as well. Opportunity name. So I've noticed while we've been labbing this, we've been telling you put the address in there, put the address in there, but I'm going to show you there's actually other places we want you to put that address, because we see it a little bit differently on the compliance side of it. So I'm not going to tell you you have to put that address there, because that's actually not what we even see on the compliance side of it. But again, for right now, go ahead and put the address in there, but just know that this may change over time because there's another place that the address goes, and that's actually what we see. So I've had some issues with that. So again, we're going to just go ahead and put the address in here. Okay. Any custom tags. So, if whatever helps you, remember what this transaction is about. So if it's a new home or whatever it may be, builder, or if this is somebody that's a referral, you can add whatever tags you need to this opportunity card. Estimated close date, because this is a listing, we obviously don't know that yet, so I don't have to fill that in. Estimated list price, so if you just have an estimation, that's fine. You can always go back and change it. None of this is going to populate to Dotloop, you guys. None of it. The only thing that's going to populate is your contacts. That's it. So it doesn't really matter what you put in here because you can always go back and fix it. Commission rate, we're going to just put your commission rate, 3%. Obviously, if you get both sides, you can always go back and change that. Commission rate is actually going to populate into your sales pipeline, so behind this contact card, and that's going to be over here in your potential income. Okay, so this all factors in to the potential income that you see on the right-hand side next to those sales pipelines. Opportunity phase, so we're telling Command, okay, that here's my opportunity. This is where I want you to drop it inside my sales pipeline. So for today's purposes, because I have not already put this contact into, you know, the lead section or appointments, into the appointment section, we're going to say that it's just active, okay? And within active, what stage is it in? We're going to say, okay, well, we are in the showing stages. So let's just say, you know, scheduling, showing, we're just going to say it's in showing. And we're going to click create. All right, so now we are inside the opportunity. So these are some steps that I want you guys to make sure you complete. We're going to actually look at general information and property. Okay, so I'm going to click the pencil with general information. Again, I still have not went to Dotloop. This is all the prep work. General information will allow you to make any edits. So I can edit my estimated close date. I can enter in appointment dates, or even when you get to the contract piece of it, I can enter in contract dates. So this is where you would change the price if you want to, and that will populate obviously on your sales pipeline and the commission as well. Just wanted to show you where that was at. Let's get out of that. But the one that I actually do want you to edit is the property. Okay, so it's that address. So I'm going to click that pencil. Now, this is what's important as far as helping staff check your file in compliance, because this is actually pulling into the compliance side of it for staff. So it's very important, yeah, for you to fill out this section. And then also this is going to help you when you get to the commission section. This has to be filled out. So country is the United States of America, address. So this is actually going to autofill based off of what's actually out on MLS. So obviously 123 Main Street was a poor example. So let me just type in some numbers. Okay, so you get the picture. As you type in that address, it's going to populate, okay, these are the addresses that are popping up for that address. So you would pick the one that belongs to this transaction. We're just going to pick this one right here. Okay, autofills the rest of the information in for us, and you click save. Okay, so that's a step that needs to be completed. Okay, so that way you don't forget about it. Because what's going to happen is you're going to forget about it, and then you're going to get to the commission section, and all of a sudden you can't submit it because you didn't do this piece of it. So just do it as soon as you get into this section. All right, let's go into documents. So now we're ready to get into Dotloop. Now, I know what you're thinking, oh my gosh, Alicia, this is so many steps. You guys, when we first got Dotloop, it was a lot of steps. This is going to just become repetition, and it's going to get, you know, it's going to be easy for you guys. It's just a little bit of a different, you know, we're looking at it differently now. Okay. So don't get overwhelmed with it. You're going to get it. We're here for you. All the staff here at Keller is here for you. So don't feel overwhelmed if you feel like, oh my gosh, we're just now getting to the document section. I have to do all this prep work. You guys can do it. I know you can. Dotloop at one point was very hard, and we've come so far since then. So just try to be positive about it. I'm here for you. Everybody else is here for you, and we know you've got it. Okay. So we're in the document section. The next thing I need to do is pick my checklist type, because right now I have no folders that I can put documents into. So I'm going to select the arrow. Okay. It's just asking residential or vacant land. We're going to say this is a residential listing. It's populating. Okay, now I have my folders. So I have a listed folder, an under contract folder, and a closed folder. So the listed folder is going to give me placeholders. These aren't actual documents. The placeholders of what is required for compliance. Now, obviously, some of this may not be required, or you may not have an HOA, but you're going to upload everything that's required. Once you get a contract on this, we're going to talk about this in my next example. This is where you would put the under contract paperwork. Okay. And then closed is actually what's going to hold your DA detail page. I know some of you like to download your green sheet. This will actually be gone because we won't need this anymore. You're actually going to be doing it through commissions. But you can upload, if you do your own closing documents, those will be uploaded there. Or if you allow the office to do that, we will upload your closing documents in here for you. Okay, let's go back to listing. All right, so now I'm ready. I've done all my prep work. I've added my contact. I've started my opportunity. I have completed my details, and now I'm ready for documents. That sounds like a lot, but it's not. The main thing you need to remember, you guys, is your contacts, your database should already be in command. That shouldn't even be a step you should have to do because those people should already be in command. The other thing that should already be done is that they should already be on in your sales pipeline. You shouldn't have to go add the opportunity because they should already be in your sales pipeline, whether you were cultivating that lead, whether they were in the appointment section. So when you're looking at it in that aspect of it, I've got all these steps I have to complete. No, you don't, because those first two steps, the contact and the opportunity, should already be done. And this would be your first step if you're truly doing it correctly. So let me get off my soapbox there for a second. All right, so here is our listed folder. These are all the required documents we need for compliance. Now I'm ready to allow command to go create the loop for me. Now, if you are an agent that has connected DocuSign and Dotloop, you're going to get the two options and you'll have to select which one you want. If you've only connected Dotloop, then you're only going to get the Dotloop option. For me, I have Dotloop and DocuSign connected. So if I click my drop down, I have options. Now I can go in and disconnect DocuSign. I'm not going to do that right now, but just know that that is an option. So that way you don't accidentally click the wrong one. But I'm going to select, okay, I want Dotloop. Okay, it's going to ask me, these are the templates that we already have set up in Dotloop for you. You guys are accustomed to these templates. You guys know how this works. So I'm going to select, okay, I want the templates and I need the listing residential templates. I'm going to select that and I'm going to choose that Dotloop template. Load. Okay, it's talking to Dotloop. Okay, so now if you notice, my buttons have changed. I have a sync transaction button and a go to transaction button now. If I click go to transaction, a new tab will open up. You see it's Dotloop, and look at that. My loop has been created. Now, again, the only things that pulled over was what I named that opportunity. So it pulled the name over. That's what I named it. And it pulled over my client. So there is my seller. Okay. So it did pull over that information for you. Now, it didn't pull over that purchase or, the estimated price, and it obviously didn't pull over the commission. Now, you guys, this is what you know. This is what you know. You know Dotloop in and out. Once you're to this section, you can forget about command until this has all been ratified. Okay, and after everything has been signed, dated, you're ready to get it back to the office. You don't have to stay in command. You can stay in Dotloop. Once you've let command create the loop, you just go straight to dotloop.com and this will be in your loops and you can work through Dotloop. Now, if you're using command compliance, we will not be talking to you through Dotloop. So this is going to be, I know this is going to be a little bit of a mind shift. Now, we're not going to be communicating with you via Dotloop. We're going to be talking to you through command. So you're not going to be able to submit a note to us to tell us something. That's all going to have to be done through command. Okay, so we won't be actually talking to you through the notes, and you will not have to submit your file to the office for review. You will just be using this loop to prepare your paperwork, send it off for e-signatures, and it's obviously going to be saved here. Okay, so we're going to pretend that, you know what, I have filled out all of my paperwork. Now I'm ready to let command pull it into the system. Okay, so I'm going to go back to command. I'm in my documents. Now you've got a couple options here. We can attach multiple files at once, or I can add file by file. It's completely up to you. Okay, so I'm going to click the option to attach multiple files at once. And you have options in here as well. So either you can do it manual from your computer, or you can ask, you want it to connect to Dotloop. It's connected to Dotloop, but you want to pull your documents from Dotloop. So I'm going to click Dotloop. All right, so you just go down the list. So here's my list of documents I need. Next to each document, I've got a drop down. So this first one is the brokerage duties. There's the brokerage services, the listing agreement. There's my listing agreement, the data form. Where's our data form? There it is. Okay, you guys get it. And then property disclosures. Okay, and you would just go right down the list until you have everything loaded in there that needs to be loaded in. I'm going to click attach. That on there. Okay, and you can see this is all starting to load in there. So now next to my placeholders, I have these PDFs. That's all they are. They're just PDFs. You can't, edit them. You can't share them. They are just a PDF. Now you can open it. If you want to look at it, you can look at it. Okay. But you can't edit it, you can't share it, but you can print it and you can download it. So those are your two options, okay? This is just for the office. This isn't the place where you would share it to the lender, to the, to the closer. This is for the office to review your files. All right, I've got everything loaded in here. Now I need to submit it to the office for review. And since this is a listing, I need to submit it so that way it can be put into the MLS. Now you guys are used to the submit button. Here is my big submit to MC button. I'm going to click that. Just asking, are you sure you want to submit this for review? Yes, I do. And click submit. Now next to my listed folder, it says submitted. And now that button, I can't do anything because I've already submitted it. There's nothing to do now. Okay. So now it's been sent to the office. So let's say, well, I need to let Deborah know something. How do I talk to the office? So you do have a comment section, which is really neat, you guys. So I can click the add comment. My comment box pops up and I can click in here. So this is something to keep in mind. If you're being specific, if it needs to actually go to somebody, you need to do the @ symbol. So once I click the @ symbol, here are all of the staff members. So let's say, okay, I need to talk to Deborah. So I'm going to say the @ symbol and I'm selecting Deborah and I'm going to say, hi, Deborah. I think Deborah's on today. Hi, Deborah. Please load my listing as incomplete so that I can load pics. Thanks. Okay, click add reply. Now this message went to Deborah. However, the entire office can still see this message, you guys. So this just means Deborah actually gets a notification that you sent her a message. So don't put anything in there about Mr. Beach that he's annoying you or whatever, because he can still see it even if you put it to Deborah. So again, I do the @ symbol. I choose the staff member if I want a message to go directly to that person and so that they're notified. If I just put a message in there, hi, hello, I reply. This didn't go to anybody, but it lives in the comment box. Okay, so you could put a note in there for everybody. Or just if you're trying to, I don't know, just put something in there so you have a record of it. You can put that in there. That's fine. Okay. All right. I'm going to get out of that. So we've submitted it to the office. We've sent our comment to Deborah. Now it's just up to the office to get the listing into MLS, and then it's up to Don to review your file. So that's what the listing side of it looks like, you guys. Now, as Don is reviewing your file, he is again reviewing it through command. He's not reviewing it through Dotloop. So you're not going to get any Dotloop notes. You're not going to get any messages via email from Dotloop. Your notifications are going to be in 2 different places. So the first location is right here. So up here, everybody has a bell. Okay. On the bell, if there's a red dot, that means you have a note. Okay. The other place you're going to get notifications is your Kelly app. So I would make sure you have Kelly installed on your phone and that it's up to date, because that's going to obviously be easier for you guys to know when things are coming through. And then if you're not going to rely on Kelly, that means you're going to have to rely on login to command every day to see if you have any notifications on your bell. Now, email notifications are coming. They're just not here yet. So right now, those are your 2 options. Log into command, check your notification bell, and then also have Kelly, the app Kelly on your phone, and you'll get your notifications that way as well. Okay. All right. So let me show you real quick. This is kind of cool for you guys too, to see what the office kind of sees. So I'm going to quickly go through this. You don't need to know all the ins and outs, but I want you to see if you are missing something and Dawn sends you a note and you need to fix something, what does that look like? So let's do that real quick. I'm going to pop into the MC side so I can review the file and you can see what that's going to look like. All right, so Mr. Beach is reviewing this file for 123 Main Street, and he gets to the listing agreement and he notices that you are missing a signature. So he is going to reject your document, missing signature on page, what is that? We'll just say 5. Okay, he's gonna reject your document. Then he's also going to return your file because it's not approved yet. Okay, so I'm going to come back with my agent hat on. I'm going to come back to my command. Now, during this time that Dawn reviewed my file, 2 things happened. I had a notification come through on command, so I'm going to check my bell up here. All right, looks like I have a note from Dawn. So not the actual note, but I have a notification. So 123 Main Street, listing compliance has been returned. Your compliance request for 123 Main Street has been returned. You will be able to resubmit it when the problem is fixed. Okay, so I'm going to get off of there and I'm going to come into my opportunity so I can see, okay, Dawn, what am I missing? Come in here, and that's in my listing pipeline. There is my listing, and let's see what's wrong. Come into documents. In my listed folder, oh, okay, my listed folder was returned. I can see the actual document that was rejected, and if I want to see the note, I can hover over the box. And if that's very hard for you to see, you can actually click on the document itself. So there is my document. And if you come over here to rejection reason, there is the reason he returned it, okay? So there's the reason he returned my file. So if you remember, these are just PDFs, so I can't click on this to make any edits. I'm gonna have to make my edits in the loop. So I would update my listing agreement in that loop. Once the corrections have been made in Dotloop, once I'm back in command, I can just replace this. So if you click on the box next to the PDF name, I can click the replace button. It's going to ask me, okay, are you pulling from your computer? Are you pulling from that loop? I'm going to click, I'm pulling from Dotloop. And I'm going to pull in the corrected form that was needing the correction. So I'm going to click listing agreement and I'm going to replace it. So now that form has turned from rejected to replaced. So that way, whenever Dawn gets it back, we know which form was rejected and what was replaced. Now for you guys get a really cool activity timeline for these forms. So if I go back to the actual PDF and I click on it, I have a history. So I can see the current version that was uploaded. I can see version 1 that was rejected. I can see the details. And then I can always see the rejection reason. So what was wrong with that first original that I uploaded? So this is just a great little timeline for you guys to check out. So that way, if you have questions about it or if you forget something, that is there as far as the history goes. So I'm going to click X to get out of there. I'm not done yet. I did replace the form that was incorrect, but my last step is to send it back to the office. Now I noticed on here, you guys, so remember when we messaged Deborah, we sent her a note specifically. There's a little red dot next to that comment box. If I click that, that means I got a message back. And there is Deborah, she replied to me, okay? And because she replied to my I was notified as well in my notification bell, but you're always gonna get a little red dot next to that chat box if there is a message in there that you haven't read yet, okay? So there was her response back. All right, so our last step, because again, remember I replaced that document, I've got to send it back to the office. So I'm going to click resubmit to MC. So it needs to be reviewed again for the form that I corrected. Click submit. Now it says resubmitted, and next to my folder it says resubmitted right here. Okay. So then at this point, you guys, the listing piece of it is done. Hopefully once Don gets it back, he will review it, approve it, and you're good to go on the listing side of it. So that's the listing side of it. Let's talk about the contract side of it. So I'm going to come back into my opportunities. Now, let me just talk about real quick, just some little differences. So for this one we just did for that listing, it doesn't matter if you have the buyer, somebody else bought the buyer, that buyer is going to stay with this opportunity. So with that active listing we just did, those are going to live together. Now, let's say that your person you just listed, so Cody was my seller, okay? We have her listed as active right now in my listing pipeline, but she's also going to buy. She's going to go into the buyer section as another opportunity, because those are two opportunities, you guys. You're helping her list her home and then you're helping her sell her home. So she's going to be in two different opportunities. So I hope that makes sense, because again, that is two different opportunities and that's two different potential incomes for that one contact, okay? So right now though, we're going to pretend that we've got the contract side of this, and we're going to go back into that opportunity card, back in here, back into documents. And now I'm going to be working in my under contract folder. Okay. All right. Let me do some prep work real quick. Let me pull in some documents. Now, one thing I hope you guys notice is that you guys, we are no longer doing bulk submission. Okay, so no more bulk submission. Those forms are all going to be needed to be separated out. Some of you are probably screaming at me. If you don't know how to separate your bulk documents, let me know. It's very easy to do it in Dotloop and I can show you. Okay, but yes, they will need to be separated out. We're no longer doing bulk submission and command compliance. All right, so I've got my contract paperwork. Let's bounce back over here to command. So I'm in my under contract folder and I'm ready to give it to the office. So that means in Dotloop, everything was signed, dated, ratified. I'm ready for the office to review my file. Also, you guys, we are no longer having to do green sheets if you are using this system, okay? So you can just X green sheet off of your to-do list because you don't have to do green sheets if you're using command compliance. We're going to do that piece of it after I finish this contract. Okay, so you can X green sheets off if you're going to use command compliance. Same thing applies as I'm loading my documents in. I've got two options. I can attach multiple files at once, or I can go one by one and add a file. Since we did this option last time, let me show you if you do one by one what that looks like. I can click add a file. It's asking me, do you want to load from your computer, which is an option, or Dotloop. I'm going to click Dotloop. Now that we have two different folders in there, you guys, I want you to look at this. There is that contract folder that has all the documents that were in that folder. If I scroll down, there is my listing folder. Okay, so I love how that's spread out for you so you know exactly what you're about to pull in. I don't even remember what I clicked on. Let's see. We're just going to pull one in. It doesn't matter. It's fine. We're just going to pull this form in. That form belongs with that placeholder and click assign. Again, you would go down your entire list of what you have that is required to submit to the office. Let me grab one more. I clicked add a file, Dotloop, and then I'm going to pull in my form that belongs to that placeholder. Okay. Now we're ready to submit it to the office. Okay. So we're going to click the submit to MC. Now if you notice, you guys, this commissions is grayed out. That's grayed out for a reason. So for right now, we're going to go ahead and click submit to MC. Are you sure you want to give this to the office for review? Now, don't send it to us if it's not ready for review. If it's still living in Dotloop, if you're trying to get signatures back, don't send it to us until it's actually ready. Now you can come in here and load stuff as you go. That's fine. But don't submit it to us until it's actually ready to be reviewed. Okay. So this is ready to be reviewed. I'm ready for the office to get it to review it. And so that way I can do my commissions. I'm going to click submit to MC, click submit. Now next to my under contract folder, it says submitted. So I know that it's went through. Now I'm ready to do my commission. So just like you guys are accustomed to in Dotloop, you submit your file in Dotloop, the next thing you do is go to the green sheets. I want you to have that same mindset. I've submitted my contract through command. Now I need to go do commission. So those two things need to happen simultaneously. Don't forget about it. Okay. All right. So commissions is still grayed out. That's because I need to enter in the offer information. So when you look at offers, it's going to be a lot like the green sheet, you guys. You're just filling out all the details. Okay. So I'm going to click add a new offer. We're just going to leave it named initial offer, and I'm going to click create. Now, you guys, there's going to be a lot of information in here that the office doesn't necessarily need. That's because offers is not just meant for the office, it's meant for you to give to your client. So for example, if you were in a multiple offer situation, you could come in here, you could input multiple offers and then print that out as an analysis and give to your clients. Okay, but for today, we're in the mindset, we just need to put in the offer information so that way I can get into the commissions and that way I can send it to the office. So there's that name. We're going to leave it initial offer. You got an offer date, you've got your close date, and we're going to go to parties. Now, you guys, we just need what's in red. So just like you guys are used to doing in the green sheets, just do what's in red. The office doesn't need all that extra information. Okay, so I'm only going to do what has an asterisk next to it. Again, this is all information that you would be giving to the client. We don't need it as an office. And then who brought the agent that brought the buyer. Okay, next is the terms. All right, so you've got cash, finance, we're just gonna say they're financing. Again, we don't need all of this. This is for your client. This is if you're giving an analysis to a client, you guys. I think I missed a 0. There we go. Okay, so you've got earnest amount, option fee, termination option, seller costs. Again, we don't need this as an office. That's for you. Okay, so very minimal information, guys. You guys could easily speed through this. Oh, hold on. Gotta get that off there. Okay, agent analysis. Again, pros, cons, summary of this offer. We don't need that as an office, but if you were preparing this for a client, fill it out. Last step is to click save. Now, as I click save, this will start to, nope, sorry, I jumped ahead. So here is my offer, you guys. My next step is to just accept it. Accepting it will actually allow me to get into commissions, okay? So I'm gonna click accept. Commissions is now live. It's no longer grayed out. I'm gonna go into commissions. So when you think of commissions, you gotta think of green sheet. So it's just like a green sheet. You fill it out, the pertinent information. So sales price, commission rate, close date, contract date, all of that information that we need as an office, you filled that out in offers. So once you get to commissions, a lot of this is already pre-filled in for you guys. Now it looks like we missed the contract date. That contract date, oh, it's probably backdated. Let me get in there and so if we want to make any edits, you do have a pencil with an edit information button. Let me click that. Let me fix that contract date. We'll just say that was what is today? July 30th. If I need to make any other edits, so let's say I had a typo or we changed the commission or you're doing a flat rate, you can do a flat rate as well. So you would mark that 0 and you can do a flat rate. 500. If I can type, sorry. Okay, there's my flat rate. Obviously it's 1 unit, so all transactions count as 1 total unit. This can be divided amongst agents in the payment section. So you guys, if you're on a team, you would divide that out in the payment section down below. Okay, so let's click save changes. All right, so now everything, I've got no errors up on here. Let me go down to the payment section. Okay, so this is for a single agent. I can see that I've got 1 unit. I can see my total gross commission. I can see my net pay to agent and the payment date, which is the close date, because if you obviously get your file completed, approved, that means we're going to give you your DA, and that means you're going to get paid at the closing table, and everybody loves to get paid at the closing table. Sorry, and I just noticed I totally jacked this up because I was messing with the commission. Let me go back and just fix that. I don't want it to give us an error. Let's just go back to 3%. Okay, leave that alone. I don't want to do any errors at the very end just because I was trying to show an example of something else. Let that load. You can see now it's updating because I jacked with the commission, but I don't want it to look weird. Oh, come on. That's what I get for trying to be slick, trying to show you something and then it messes the end up. Okay. We're still loading. Okay, I'm gonna get out of it. Hopefully I can go back to it here in a second. I just want to get that off there. All right, we're in the payment section now. So it's gonna break it down for you guys. I love this. Now, I'm obviously not an agent, but you guys are agents. And over here on the right-hand side, you actually will be able to, in real time, see your cap, actual, and balance. So this is really neat. So you'll be able to track, okay, how close am I to capping? This is gonna give you your payment breakdown, okay? Now, if we want to edit anything, so obviously you can't edit royalty, that is an international fee. But let's say that I want to donate to KW Cares or Kids Can or Bold. Let me show you where you're going to put your deductions. So I'm going to come up to the edit agent payment. Let's come in here. All right. So we're going to scroll down. So obviously I can't edit royalty. That's just factored in. We've got our company commission split in there. Okay. E&O is already in there. So that's why it's grayed out. You can't add it. That's just going to be an automatic added fee. One thing I've noticed, you guys, they have not set it up for you teams to be able to split that E&O up. So I'll show you where in the notes section, if you need to split the E&O between a team member, you'll have to let us know, because at this point you can't actually split that on your own. Now, if I want to donate to KW Cares, I can donate to KW Cares, Kids Can, Bold, and then it's still showing us our net. Down here, you've got your extra payment options. Right? So that's like referrals, bonuses, any deductions. So if you need to add anything, if I click add item, so this is actually where Jennifer Southard will be added. Jennifer Southard, if you are doing e-commissions, or if you are paying for a Bold payment, or if you are paying an agent bill, that will be in here. So when I click choose the type, I've got bonus, concession, deduction, inside referral, outside referral. So let's just say we've got a bonus. Let's put the bonus in there. Okay. Click add. And let's say, you know what, I've also got an outside referral. Click outside referral. Now we need everything filled in. That's why everything has an asterisk, you guys, which I love, because sometimes it's not very fun for us to have to track down this information and we're back and forth. This will really help with a lot of that. So I really love this. So you're going to fill this out completely. Now, if we don't have this information already in the system, we're still going to request a W-9 from you, from that agent, because we will need to add that to the system. So you guys, when we're asking for the W-9s for outside referrals, that's because that's how they get paid. So we have to have that in their system. Otherwise, we don't have access to pay them. Okay, so that's why we ask you for W-9s. All right, so I've added my deductions, I've added my bonuses. I'm gonna click Save Changes. All right, okay, good, it fixed it for it. Yay, okay, so over here on Summary, I see another breakdown. So I've got my total commission, I got my bonus in there, pay to office, your royalty fee is pulled out, company commission, additional deductions, and then we have pay to agent. So you guys, that additional deductions was anything I put in. So that's $20 E&O, and then I did donate the $5 to KW Cares. That's why it's coming up with that 25. You get your pay to agent, which is you. Now, if you're on a team or any note you need to give us, this is where you would do that. So if I click add note, I can put my note in here. So I can say, please split the E and O between agents, okay? Or whatever note you need to give us, okay? Anything that we need to know, that needs to go in here. I'm gonna click Save Changes. My last step is to click Submit. If you need to edit something, or even if you need to remove this entirely, let's just say that, you know, as you were filling this out, it busted and we no longer need it, you can remove it. So I'm gonna click Submit, and you guys, clicking Submit actually sends it to the office. When you are submitting your commissions, this is what prompts us to go look at your file, okay? So if you don't submit commissions, that's not guaranteed that your file is going to be reviewed. That's why I said think of these as the same. So as you're submitting documents, commissions needs to be submitted simultaneously, and that way you get your documents reviewed on a timely manner. Speaking of a timely manner, because this is a new system, everybody is learning, everybody is on a learning curve right now, including staff. The sooner the better, you guys, so that way I can make sure you get your DA before closing, not the day before, not the day of. I want to get you your DA as soon as we can. So it's the last thing you have to worry about, but it's up to you to make sure you get your file submitted as soon as you can, and you get your commissions submitted with that, so that way we get this reviewed as soon as possible. Okay. Woo, that was a lot, but I felt like I was very thorough, you guys. I feel pretty confident in that. So let's go into the chat. Let's see if we have any questions in chat. And you guys, if you're on Facebook, put your comments there. Okay, Katie, let me see your question. Okay, Katie, I probably confused you. Okay, so Katie's question is, I thought if you were working with both the seller and the buyer on a transaction, that was 2 opportunities. Is that right? Okay. Let's go off of the listing. So you have the listing. Okay, you have the listing. 2 things can happen. If you bring the buyer, that's going to stay with the opportunity. Sorry. No, I said that incorrectly. Okay, see, I'm even confusing myself, Katie. You have the listing. I'm the agent. I have the listing. I bring the buyer. That's going to stay with the opportunity I already created, and vice versa. So we kind of talked about this. Otherwise, what's going to happen is that you're going to have 2 different DAs, 2 different opportunities. And I think that's going to be very confusing. So it doesn't matter who brings the buyer, it needs to stay with that opportunity for that listing. Did that answer your question if you're still on here, Katie? Hopefully it did. Yes, okay, sorry. And I even confuse myself sometimes. But we want to keep it together so that way you're not getting 2 different DAs, and that's totally going to confuse closers if you have 2 DAs but you have both sides. So yeah, you want to keep it together. All right, if you're on Zoom and you have more questions, you guys make sure to put those into the chat. I'm going to pop over to Facebook to see if we have any questions there. Oh, let's see. Ooh, I can hear my voice. Oh, we got quite a few on Facebook. Well, hi guys. And I think it's delayed a little bit on their end. So again, Facebook viewers, if you have any questions, make sure to put those into the comments. But hopefully this is very thorough. So yeah, doesn't look like it. Okay. Let's see, Katie has another question. I just don't quite understand how you add the buyer to that opportunity. I get what you're coming from, Katie. I'm going to have to probably sit down and talk to Gina about this. We're just having issues with multiple DAs going out for the same properties, even when you have both sides. So I get where you're coming from. That is very confusing. I will get more information on that for you. Okay. All right, you guys, I hope, oh, hold on, we got another question. Okay, thanks. Okay. You guys, I hope this was very helpful, and I hope you're excited because we're excited. And again, you guys, you have options. That's why Gary Keller preaches about, you guys, we're not trying to make you use something. That's why you have options. So if you don't like Dotloop, use DocuSign. If you don't like DocuSign, use Dotloop. But the end goal is we want you in command for compliance. So if you're ready to get in here, get going, get your next listing, get your next contract in here, I want you to do it. If you need one-on-one help, let me know. We can do a Zoom together. I can walk you through it. If you need me to help you do that, I don't mind. So yeah, hope this was helpful. I hope you are excited. I hope that you're ready to put your next transaction in here, run it through command. I'm really excited for you guys. Oh, we got another one. I don't want to miss anybody. I've got every time somebody comments, I get a big yellow box saying chat. Okay, Linda Hughes, when you add the new offer, you have the opportunity to add the buyer information and buyer agent information. If you have the buyer, you add yourself twice. Yes. Were you replying to Katie or were you just replying in general? Opportunity. Yes. Okay. Thanks, Linda. All right. Let's go ahead and end it here, you guys. I've kept you an hour, but hopefully that was a valuable hour that you guys were here. Never want to just have you sit here and be like, oh my gosh, this is a big fat waste of my time. Never want that to happen because I don't like that. So this is being recorded. If you came in late, you can watch the playback on Facebook, and this will be loaded to our YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in, and please reach out if you would like for me to help you do a one-on-one, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.